Hey everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks. And whoa, where's my green screen gone? What's happened to my beautiful microphone that I have? Well, I'm currently not in the UK, I'm actually on holiday in Belarus. But I'm actually doing something a little bit different here, considering that I usually spend a couple of weeks in Belarus a year, and something that I'm hoping that I can do a little bit more actually, because my wife is Belarusian, and so I've got family here, and it's just so lovely to be able to come to Belarus. One thing that I always regret is that I don't keep on making the content while I'm here. So I've actually made myself a little bit of a travel PC. You will have seen all of that if you've been following me on social media, or even if you saw me build it last weekend. So I've taken it here to keep the show going, and hopefully QuickyBaby can go mobile in 2020. So today, I realize the microphone quality is not going to be absolutely incredible. It's something that I'm definitely going to work on, and if I feel like this is something that I can do in the future, I'll probably end up bringing a nice big microphone here if I get a little bit more space. But being able to fit all of this inside a suitcase, let's just say it was a little bit tricky. Anyway, let's not focus on me. If you're just wondering why I'm streaming inside a kitchen, let's focus on the game that we have to look forward to checking out today. And that is that we're going to be checking out To Live Is To Die. Well, obviously we've got a big Metallica fan there, right? Playing in the Tier 8 British reward medium tank. It is the Chimera. Now this vehicle is the second reward of the second set of personal missions that were added inside the game. And I haven't actually featured the Chimera on the channel in a year and a half since the vehicle was actually released. And I guess the reason for that is that it's not exactly incredible. This tank is definitely not absolutely monstrous, but also it's definitely been buffed a lot as well since Wargaming improved the statistics of the vehicle probably about half a year ago when they made or even a year ago when they made all of the buffs to the Object 279E as well, as if that's a tank that needed buffing. This tank is the master of alpha damage for Tier 8 medium. 440 alpha damage with 218mm of standard penetration and 252 on its premium rounds. That means that this tank is going to be able to hit hard and is going to be able to penetrate most of the targets that it manages to shoot. Combine this with 10 degrees of gun depression, okay mobility at 50 forwards and 20 backwards, and hull armor, which sounds very, very impressive. 200mm on the front of the turret, 76 on the side, and 114 at the front of the hull. You're thinking, why is this vehicle not more popular? Well, it just suffers from chunky medium tank syndrome, really. Just look at this absolute box of a tank, boys and girls. It's horrendous. It's just huge. It's easy to hit. The turret is thick, but it's flat. Everybody can penetrate it unless you're a tier 6 tank. But when do you really want a tank to be good against tier 6s? Pretty much all vehicles are good against tanks, which are 2 tiers lower than them. So the armor just doesn't really hold up. So this has meant that the Chimera has kind of become this vehicle that I think people like to take out occasionally. But please, correct me if I'm wrong. Are you the #1 Chimera fan and you take this thing out daily, you grind it all day long, and it's your absolute favorite vehicle? I just think these kind of hybrids, it suffers from being a hybrid that just doesn't have an overwhelming advantage apart from that alpha damage. I guess it's the damage per minute. 1,700 on this tank means that unless you're pretty funky, like To Live Is To Die, and you make big, bold plays against the T-44-100, penetrating 456 damage and following it up with 106 RAM, yeah, you've got to be a bit creative when you play this tank. And usually the kind of players that you see playing this vehicle are going to be very strong players, because they are players who have managed to complete the first couple of the tank's worth of the personal missions of the second set. So to be able to get a Chimera, it's not like getting an Object 279E, but you're still absolutely no slouch if you've been able to achieve this tank. So that means that the Chimera, when you see them on the battlefield, they're usually, as they're played by better players, they're usually performing better than the tank would be if it was in the hands of everybody. I'm pretty sure this would be a horrendous medium tank if it was given to the World of Tanks player base in some kind of mission marathon or just sold as a premium tank. I don't think that your average player or your novice is going to do incredibly well in this vehicle, unlike what we're going to see To Live Is To Die is able to achieve today. So To Live Is To Die is defending against an assault on Ghost Town. I absolutely love Ghost Town. I asked in Twitch chat the other day about whether people liked or disliked Ghost Town. And for me personally, it feels like a map where you've got a chance in every single tank type, even if you're playing artillery. apart from shooting into the town, you can get nice big shots over some of the undulations towards the east and also towards the west of the map. If I'm playing a light tank, I want to bomb it down that western pass. Use all of the bushes as well towards the east, and you've got ample opportunity to be able to rock and roll there. If I'm playing in a heavy tank, well, I'm going to make my way into the town. Medium tanks are going to be able to want to try and progress the flanks, and hopefully they got some good turret armor to be able to make their way effectively through the enemy lines, inevitably ending up hopefully winning the flank and then being able to progress the fight and just take out everybody that's in the town. Because this map has great cross shots. If you can win the flanks, you can get easy cross shots into your opponents from the town, or into the town, and that's really what I feel makes the difference. The heavy tanks and the tank destroyers that win the fight inside the center are then really worried about the tank destroyers and the medium tanks and some of the light tanks and even the artillery shooting into the town from the outside, and it kind of becomes a bit of a siege. I do enjoy it. Alright, so To Live Is To Die is just absolutely cleaning up shop here in this top tier matchup. Up to 5,000 damage and 5 kills. But the show must go on. Much how I'm making the show must go on. Even though you can take me out the UK, I'm still not going to stop making YouTube videos, and I'm going to be streaming today as well, so I'm really looking forward to that one. I have to admit, boys and girls, I have the most ridiculous mouse mat. Go check it out on Twitter if you want to see what kind of mouse mat I picked up inside the local supermarket here. It's a good one, I tell you. Alright, so now behind the T-29, this T-29 just doesn't really stand a hope in hell now. Although actually, look at that, quick reactions by the T-29 turning their tank around and trying to engage To Live Is To Die. And remember, this tank has got awful hull armor, and so the T-29 is able to put in 316 damage through the front. And this is more often than not what happens to me when I play this tank. Just everything that hits your vehicle manages to penetrate it, and it really comes down to you using the 10 degrees of gun depression this tank has to be effective at decent distances and just to work ridge lines against hopefully opponents that can't shoot back at you or yeah, can't even spot you altogether. Alright, so To Live Is To Die's team is now just absolutely melting all around them. Now they are in a 2 versus 3 situation, although against, it looks like some low health tanks in the form of the Carnarvon. With the AMX, CDC making their way up towards the slope and slaying the T-29, To Live Is To Die now has to handle 3 tanks. Mano, a mano, a mano. Well, yeah, I guess 3-on-1 has now become 2-on-1. As he finishes off the Carnarvon, and now the T-29 on his team is pinging the map to let To Live Is To Die know that there's going to be a flanking Soviet heavy tank. Do you think this T-29 should be the one pinging To Live Is To Die, who has killed half of the enemy team and is absolutely carrying their socks off right now? Should they be the armchair general telling them what to do? I'm not so sure. I think To Live Is To Die is a very capable player, and I think they're more than a match to try. Well, more than a match to possibly get through this situation. But I can tell you, this one is going to go right down to the wires, so stay tuned for the last couple of minutes of this battle, as this one really was neck and neck stuff right down to the end of it. Alright, so the AMX CDC, who managed to kill the T-29 up on the hill, is now racing down to see if they can manage to pick up To Live Is To Die. Now, To Live Is To Die is running away, and that's because he's defending against an assault. So as you can see, all he has to do is keep the friendly base secure or destroy all of the enemy vehicles, so he doesn't actually have to kill all of the tanks to be able to win this battle. So he's trying to defend. He doesn't want to get caught by the IS and the CDC at the same time. The CDC has to try and find. It's a bit of a game of cat and mouse right now. To Live Is To Die. It's a bit of a tongue twister, man. Could you get an easier name, please? Or a more complicated one for me to be able to constantly talk about as I'm commentating on this replay. But To Live Is To Die now gets spotted. Must be the IS right out towards the left. The IS seemingly not actually appearing on the minimap. That's a bit bizarre. Why is the IS not appearing? Because the IS was around the left-hand corner, and To Live Is To Die looks really confused. Now expecting the CDC to be able to waltz around. Now turns their tank around to be able to hunt the IS, but once again gets proxy spotted through the corner by the CDC. To Live Is To Die now finishes off the IS, and that is a great result. The fact that he was able to shut down the IS without losing any hit points now means the CDC has to shoot him 3 times to be able to win this battle. All To Live Is To Die has to do now is just get out of the scenario. Okay, this is a brilliant play. Rushing down. Are they going to turn around and make their final stand? They are. Now they're hull down against the CDC, but oh no, RNG! definitely screws them over here as the CDC puts their first of the 3 rounds that we talked about the CDC needing to penetrate to be able to win this game. But now with 20 seconds left on the game, the CDC has to attack. To Live is to Die is going to have to penetrate the CDC 3 times. That's not going to happen anymore, so he's going to have to survive. Whoa, well, if he rolls like that, he doesn't have to penetrate 3 times. As the 506 damage roll, that's plus 66 there with 6 seconds left. Is this going to be it, or what's going to happen? It's a low roll, but the CDC bumps into him? Okay, well, I guess the CDC was just feeling generous at the end there. And To Live is to Die, not really living up to their name here, right? Looks like you actually managed to live, but I guess all of the destruction around you, the same can't be said for the enemy team, as To Live is to Die nearly picks up 2/3 of the enemy team killed. And this one was certainly right down to the wire, picking up the final kill with the final remaining second. So an absolutely preposterous result here for To Live is to Die, picking up a Radley Walters medal for that 9th kill, 1 short of the Pools medal, a Steel War medal, an unusual one to pick up in the Chimera, and yeah, just about 1,670 blocked by that. Well, that's definitely still significant, just in there for a Steel War medal. This wasn't a true Steel War medal that you would be getting in a heavy tank. And a high caliber for the 7,048 damage dealt with 1,317 assistance there as well. No wonder this was 2,204 base experience points. Yeah, you're just trying to make this one hard to be able to ace for the rest of us, right? What a cracking round for To Live is to Die here, and makes a very decent profit because everybody who's playing at Christmas with a premium account and having the 50% extra credits by now, as most people, I guess, have got their festive cheer up to level 10. Everybody's making an absolute fortune, even in vehicles like this one that are not actually a premium tank. This is a reward vehicle. You're going to make great crew training in the tank for your British medium tank crews, and you can use any of your medium tank crews inside this vehicle. But yeah, if you want to make some credits, yeah, these reward vehicles aren't the ones for you. So the Chimera, the first time I've talked about this tank in a year and a half. What do I think about it? It's a funny one. This replay made it look absolutely incredible. But did you notice how all of the engagements were in the favor of To Live is to Die? You never really got to see him pressured with the DPM, the very poor damage per minute that this tank has. Trust me, if somebody all-ins you with a high alpha damage gun, or just a high damage per minute gun, or even, God forbid, an autoloader, you really will struggle in the Chimera. Either they force you to bounce your 440 alpha damage shell, or even you just penetrated into them, and then they'll just nail you again and again and again. And I often lose so many hit points in this tank. But it's still a good vehicle. Anything with 440 alpha damage, anything with the mobility that this tank has, and Wargaming have even made the gun handling on this vehicle just a little bit better with all the buffs that they've made to the tank. Is it worth questing over to get, like the Object 279E? Yeah, probably not. Is it still worth managing to take it out of your garage and give it a little bit of a dusting and give it a go on the battlefield again? Yeah, probably is. So, To Live is to Die, thank you so much for uploading this onto the What Replays website, and thank you for putting my name, or QB. Maybe I'm being presumptuous. Maybe he just wanted a random quarterback to commentate on his game, right? Thanks for giving me the nod in the title either way, so I could know that you wanted to be featured on the channel. And congratulations to you on one of the highest experience games of all time inside this tank. And so that's it for today, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, give the video a thumbs up, but if you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And if you're watching this video as it goes live on Thursday, I'm streaming right now from this kitchen, so come along. Let's have a good time, and let's christen my first stream in Belarus in good fashion. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.